if they were to not come out on top in this series for whatever reason, I don't think it affects them so much. Whereas on the other side, I think if Shopify like beat Optic and they beat them pretty comfortably, or pretty handily, I think there's some questions like that will go through the minds of Optic players. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, this is not how we expected it to go, and they're going to have to put some. We know that everyone's going to have to put work in. We heard Bound talking about rewiring the brain and getting used to playing with new players and all this kind of stuff. But it is those little ghosts that start to come back that you don't want to be there. You want to start on the positive foot, on the front foot, and really kind of solidify yourself as the team to beat as we head into our game number 1 of our series. We got some neutral bomb. New game type, new map, Fortress. Let's see how it plays.
Hell yeah. The LAN debut for this game type. Excited to see exactly how this one goes down, especially like we said, there's a lot of different ways to run this bomb. There's a lot of different strategies in terms of how you play late game, how you manage the game, how you play repulse bomb, and able to just really manage the map. And it's going to be exciting to kick things off here. We are now underway with your winners final. It's Shopify Rebellion up against Optic Gaming. Game 1 is your debut of Neutral Bomb on Fortress.
And this is a match that everybody was looking forward to see. Enough of the online. Let's take it back to LAN. Let's get real. And let's see who is looking like the dominant force in the Halo Championship Series, heading towards that Optic Major in Arlington, the kickoff event of the HCS season. Legend's going to get that first overshield, and he's trying to hunt down some players.
Eventually, the overshield will be melted off, but still has a lot of shields with which to continue the battle on. Not too many kills early on here. Only 4 registered so far in the opening 40 seconds.
Royal 2 is going to find himself a sniper rifle. And that usually isn't good news for anyone to go up against. One team who is very good at this game type is going to be Shopify Rebellion. They seem to just find a way to get that bomb moving across into the courtyard, up that front jump. And they're very aggressive on the way that they do try and move forward. Royal 2 trying to be aggressive at the moment, playing on that sneaky area. Oh, Formal going to get a little bit of help on his way to picking up a double kill, and it's going to be Cykul who's left as last alive here. Formal gets that bomb back to bottom middle, and it's a reset on the map.
Yeah, it was 3 dead here. We'll see if they can flush out this last kill, but not going to be easy when you have the Arches spawners as well. So Cykul stays alive long enough for LastShot to pick up that kill, and now we're going to see 1 dead across both sides of the map.
Royal 2 goes, I remember where I left that. I'm going to go back and collect it. That sniper rifle, you can see he was desperate to pick it up, but secures the kill before doing so. Just a smart play. Only the 1 bullet to play with, but with the advanced position that Frosty finds himself in, that could have been a big, big bullet hit.
Look at this play as well. Let's see how he plays the spiral. Knows he can get behind
Peekaboo.
Nice little back whack comes in, and how special to hear Royal 2. I mean, of all the things I expected to hear, I did not expect Royal 2 to say, it feels like I'm an amateur again. I've got to prove myself. It's a brand new team. I mean, how special is that? Let's see what he could do now. 2 dead.
I'm telling you, man, it's the power of this couch. It has something in it. Everybody's down to have a chat. Everyone's excited for this season, and Cykul is going to get that first arm here for Shopify Rebellion. They will be up 1-0.
Overshield popping right now as well with an incoming bomb. See, Cykul going to try to make sure that he locks down continued damage here. Frosty will get the overshield as well.
How impressive has Frosty been, by the way? I mean, we've only seen the 1 series, but he was dominant in that series. And it feels almost like sacrilegious to say the Frosty of old, but it's a comfortable Frosty. This is what he's always been able to do. We know that, and a triple kill, finally cleaning up his side of the map, means that now they can advance once again. That overshield paying dividends.
Feels like he's just having fun out here, right? You've seen a smile on his face tons of the time, just putting up enormous numbers, even bigger than numbers that we saw from him in previous seasons. Just cleaning up all the kills that he needs to. He's not done yet. Picks up another double kill on the back of the base.
And he wants his second triple, but instead he turns his attention towards that bomb, or certainly supporting the player who is going to be running that bomb in towards the Optic base. Optic is struggling at the moment. You can see another kill gets picked up at the overextend bottom middle. That's going to be Legend. Then even though Formal is waiting for this sniper rifle, that bomb hasn't got to be too far away from that arm point.
Ooh, might even try to, looks like maybe try to combat evolve the snipe, at least off the spawn for a second. Unfortunately, the combat evolve does not really get it off of the archway. Instead, it stays there. So Formal is going to grab that sniper rifle. So a little bit more damage will be required on the map to push in.
More damage here from Frosty onto Bound, finds that kill himself, moves through the cave now towards Formal. He knows that Formal is the player who has that sniper rifle. And look at the confidence coming in from Frosty, challenges that even half shield, but Formal good enough to just hold him at bay.
By the way, I got to mention, Shopify has exclusively, as you would expect, especially if you've been playing or watching. So bomb's now being armed. We'll see if they can continue here. LastShot is going to have to fight 2 battles. Cannot do it, so that bomb will be down. No one really in position there. So in the end, Royal 2 will be forced to retreat. But how well has Shopify controlled their opponent's BR? Which is obviously, if you've been playing or watching, that is what you need to do. You want to pinch him to elbow. You want to pinch him into those chokes, but they've done it so well so far.
Legend just trying to overextend. Not for the first time. We've seen him just trying to escape, it feels like, at the moment. Formal still with that sniper rifle in his hand. He'll be able to pick off Frosty, which gives him at least a little bit of room to maneuver. Overshield has come up. You hear it pop bottom middle. Question is, who's going to have it in their hands as Royal 2 just continues to patrol. And this time, Formal's going to get snuck up behind. That's more bullets to pick up. 2 more for Royal 2 to put to use.
This is actually, I'm going to take the last 2 bullets you have. 2 dead for the side of Optic. Oh. Bodies immediately on Renegade, which is going to buy them even more time. Just stays alive on the spiral. And like we said, controlling their bottom base, controlling their spiral, and controlling their BR in an obnoxious way so far.
Optic just trying to escape at the moment. They've got this one down to A1 at the moment under the armory in the basement. Trying to move it up the back stairs. Formal's going to challenge, try and do some damage. Royal 2 once again just outputting damage consistently at the moment. Still alive. It's a 2v2 with that bomb. Still in the basement. It's just such a difficult situation for Optic to just try and force their way out of because they know they have to get that bomb away.
Lqgend was the only player alive, able to finally get taken down. He bought a little bit of time for the team, but that bomb is going to stay there. Cykul will also get the touch. And this is what I was talking about. The meta game of bomb management is very different than it is on Aqua. And they've just controlled the bomb entirely, kept it in their opponent's spiral throughout the entirety of it, and also controlled this actual area here around BR, A1, A2, and the spiral. And guess what? They're going to keep doing it. Even though they lose numbers, they maintain. By the way, they have kept Renegade to 2 and 13 in this game. A huge statement. How often do you say that?
One thing that's really interesting from Shopify Rebellion here is they keep just throwing that bomb down on the basement side, which I think is blocking, maybe, or influencing alongside some Shopify players, spawns on the map where everybody is just constantly spawning over at the snipe side on the elbow in the cave, and Optic just can't get out on the map at the moment. They are really struggling. Finally, Cykul's going to move in to clean up some of this damage. Royal 2 keeps him alive, and surely this is an opportunity for them to get that bomb moving again.
I know they need to clean up Formal here. He was bottom tower, and we'll see if they decide to go. Obviously, they're going to be not split spawns here, but probably now going to be spiral BR spawn, so they're going to have to rotate for the first time to focus their slaying elsewhere on the map.
I mean, this is punishing.
And they grab snipe perfectly timed on the rotate.
Absolutely punishing from Shopify Rebellion at the moment. Bound's going to throw the bomb out, but he's going to find out that Frosty has an overshield. Another touch on the bomb keeps it alive. Royal 2 is going to be there to support. 2 players trapped on the spiral. Renegade takes damage. And you know as well that Cykul had that sniper rifle who's going to be somewhere or other overlooking all of this damage that's being done.
The only way to describe just how decimating this is Renegade is 3 and 17. Don't know what else to say.
I mean this with all due respect to Optic and the talent that they have. It feels like Shopify are just playing with their food a little bit here.
Ooh, does not finish. Touch will come in, should be up. No, is it actually tossed out? Let's see, I think Formal was the last there. Yes, he is the last alive. That bomb, see how sticky the bomb is? Take a look. They can get right back in the circle here.
This is an arm.
That's going to be it. Boom.
This is an arm. It's 2-0. And Shopify Rebellion are dominant in this game number 1 at the moment.
Objective incoming.
This is wild. I mean, they have not left. There has not been a moment, a single moment in these nearly 7 minutes of play, as LastShot stays alive as well, taking down Bound, where they have not had control of their opponent's base. This now might be the first time of the game.
I'm pretty sure the closest the bomb has been to the Shopify Rebellion base is when it spawned.
When it spawned, yes. It has not gone further than that, without a doubt. And Bound also tossed it a few inches outside the front of the base at one point, too, I saw. Now, we should say, with all that, Lqgend finally starting the arm. And actually, LastShot's getting pinched here. And this might be an amazing counter. 3 dead. Cykul's last player alive. They should get this finish here. Cykul's the only player alive on BR. They need to flush out this last kill and jump right on the arm.
Cykul been a nuisance, though. He's going to try and contest at the last second. He's going to try and stick it. Can't get it, though. Lqgend. Cykul with a big clutch play. Really good timing from him. But here comes Bound now, trying to push forward. And Optic are trying to summon something here. Find a little bit of resilience. And they will get that first bomb arm. So the first time that the bomb gets in the Shopify base, it's going to be Optic who put that arm on the board. They will be down by just 1 now and hold the phone.
Wow, for real.
For as long as they've been dominant here, Shopify Rebellion, Optic are still in this.
Hold the phone. Please hold. Your call is very important to us, but let me tell you, this whole game just got flipped on its head. And if you're Shopify, you're trying to figure out how on earth we just let that happen, because now all of a sudden it's 2-1 when take a look at how heavily they are outslaying. But just like that, Optic Gaming with an amazing counter. They turn everything around, and now with 4 minutes left, it's anyone's game.
2 dead for Optic. Cykul's going to throw that one out bottom middle. Lqgend is still being a nuisance, though, behind enemy lines. Finally, Frosty and Royal 2 will combine to take him out. Frosty with the repulse will get a beautiful angle onto Formal, and Royal 2 is there to clean it up. So Shopify Rebellion get that bomb back around the halfway mark, as finally they have a little bit of map to call their own.
And maybe even a second to breathe here for Optic Gaming after that first bomb. 2 dead for Shopify. World 2 still going straight to the spiral. They know they need to clear him out, but what a story this would be if Optic Gaming was able to even just send this game to overtime, let alone take the game.
Forward damaging, but even his numbers aren't looking good in this one. 10 and 20 for him.
Reset. Objective incoming.
Frosty cleans up Lqgend as he's playing a little bit of defensive work at the moment inside of his own base, looking across at top armory towards the bottom of ring, and the bomb is down. You can see Formal is still there. He's still been a little bit of a nuisance. Renegade has that snipe, and he's been spotted by Frosty, as Frosty has been spotted by Bound.
A snipe might have hit that frag. I'd have to watch that back. The body shot looked good, but it might have actually hit the frag, which is wild to think about. 2:55 left, so all of a sudden, Shopify realizing that the clock is going to be a very big factor here as they look to hold.
Sniper down here for Optic Gaming. Cykul comes out that situation with a trade, and Lqgend now finds himself as last alive. Overshield coming up as well as Frosty finds Lqgend and sends him back to his teammates.
I gotta say, such an interesting story stat line here. The fact that Formal has maintained positive at 17 and 16 while the rest of the team is severely negative is just a very interesting statistical story. And they're gonna have to dig deep and try to find something in these last 2 minutes if they want to tie the game, but here comes the push.
Yeah, and look at this, it's so aggressive, it's over the top, it's straight from the front ramps. Renegade will survive for now. LastShot just couldn't connect with the big shots that he needed to. Royal 2 trying to follow up on this damage. I'll say, if there's not many players better than pinning you in your base when you've got like a static spawn than Royal 2. Just knows how to play these angles so well.
He's very happy to play this and just be as big of a nuisance as he can at the bottom tower elbow side, and also just working together. Nice cross-map shooting there. And just pinning them back at their staircase as well as all the way back to their VR. Here comes the push that was too dead.
5 seconds until that bomb resets. I think they want to touch on it.
Yep.
And yes, indeed, Cykul is going to go for that touch. And not only that,
almost.
He gets it almost all the way there. Lqgend will pick it up and throw it out. It's a clutch play from him. And with 1 minute 45 left, yes, he'll go down. But has that kept Optic in with an opportunity here of maybe finding a little bit of last-second run of that bomb and tying this game up?
Bounds is going to advance it right away. Lqgend did very well to toss that bomb quite far out all the way into ring 1. And now they're going to have to drop and shoot here. They did have a man advantage for just a second, but now all 4 players are up. 1:26 left. This is Optic's last chance.
Bomb going to be down in the courtyard, but numbers not on their side. It's 2v4 as Royal 2 makes it a 4 versus 1. Renegade last alive. Cykul, he gets 5'd by Renegade, but you imagine the trade is going to be there, and every time you see an Optic player win an individual, it feels like it's traded out almost immediately.
Frosty going to go with the classic window strategy for just a second. Maybe even hold elbow and hold.
1 minute remaining.
This bomb's getting thrown off.
Right on this edge.
Come and get it.
It's a really hard spot to nade as well, and to be honest, if you aren't aware that someone's there, look at this. This is just, like we said, when we talk about game management, that's what we mean. There are very crafty places. Crafty would probably be the kind way to put it, that you can keep the bomb on this map in the late game. 42 seconds left.
Formal gets an overshield. Formal picks up the bomb.
Can they get the first pick?
And moves his way forward. There is still time for Optic to do this, and Renegade has a sniper rifle. Lqgend picked up 1. It's 2 dead here for Shopify. 3 dead here for Shopify. Bomb is on the arches, but it's moving in towards the base, and Formal still has a little bit of overshield.
You knew the tower damage was going to come in very, very thick and very, very fast here.
Big double
2
kill
dead
for Royal 2.
Yeah, big. 2 dead for Optic Gaming, and I think they were... Oh, my word. Renegade not done yet. Somehow, he's 20 and 23 now. 7 seconds left. That bomb's going to sit in the court. Time will tick down. And Shopify Rebellion will take game number 1 in a wild, wild game number 1 between these two. They'll close it out 2-1, but not without its drama, not without its storylines, and quite an epic finish.
It's one of the strangest games I've watched in quite some time between 2 evenly matched teams. You think about the first half of that game, Optic couldn't move. Optic literally couldn't move.
Renegade was 3, I think we said 3 and 18.
3 and 18.
He ended the game, by the way, 20 and 24. I don't even know what to say about that. We don't even have time to break that one down.
That's crazy in itself. But I mean, it felt like Shopify were just like, you know what, we've got 1 bomb, we're going to just kill you. We're just going to really make a point here. We're going to continually spawn kill you and really make you hurt here. And I think it was only when Optic finally managed to get out of their base, it was almost as if they finally got out of their base, they got back, and then they managed to get the arm themselves, and it was 2-1, and Shopify was like, oh, maybe this isn't going to be as easy as we thought, and Optic just got a little bit of belief back.
Let's take a look at this, and keep an eye, by the way, the one thing you'll want to watch as we watch these replays, in addition to these fantastic plays, is also where we are and the kill leaderboards and the stats at different points in the game here. 3 minutes in, take a look. It's a huge slaying advantage already beginning for the side of Shopify Rebellion, and that only continued in a violent way, to be completely honest. Renegade starts the game off 1-6. Eventually, he's 2-10, and the stats are very opposite on the other side. At this point, like we said, Renegade was 3-16. But off of the second arm, somehow, Optic Gaming came out of nowhere with a sneaky arm that almost was the difference. Here's the second arm for Shopify. They get that one clean off of the BR spawners. But it was a two-man touch, and they continued to slay. They had 4 dead after the arm as well. In the end, Shopify clutches up, but I agree, a very, very strange game where I think Shopify has so much to be proud of, yet, in a very rare sense, so much to watch in the VOD of how they let that first arm slip through. How did they allow Renegade to then go on the tear that he went through to make up his stat line? This one, you have to think, maybe if Formal went off of Ring 2 face earlier instead of wrapping Bomb, right? It should, Bond, excuse me, not to be confused with Bomb. If he had instead gone Brick immediately and Porch while they were getting the Ring 1 kill, do they have a better luck with those tower spawners and elbow spawners? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. And we know we'll see these two teams play that game time, maybe even again today, but certainly this season. Game number 1's in the books. Shopify takes it, but not without its drama.
Yeah, as I say, and a fascinating narrative on what happened from the first bullet to the last bullet on that one, but when it's all said and done and concluded, it is going to be Shopify who find themselves up 1-0. Now we move over to Slayer Recharge. And a chance maybe to tie the series up here for Optic, but with the way that Shopify was slaying in that previous game, and I think just in general shooting, it's important for Optic to get out to a good start here.
It really is, and I have to say, Optic Gaming, the fact that they were able to almost, and that's not the first time they would have done it today, bring that game back, really says a lot about their drive, and like we said, their late game clutch factor already appears to be at a wow, what a stick from LastShot on Formal to force the burn on Camo.
Everyone just exploded.
Really nicely done, and Renegade wins a nice 1v1 against a former teammate. Eventually, he will be taken down, 2 dead apiece.
Well, Cykul's probably thinking, what the heck is going on? Everyone's just dying the other side of the map. I'm going to get myself a shock rifle. A little bit of chain damage going to come in, and Frosty gladly cleans up both of those kills, and it's Shopify who get out to a 2-kill advantage with the camo being burnt. This shock rifle becomes even more influential in the game.
Let's see what Cykul could do. We've seen this man run circles around this map before, and no doubt looking to do the same thing again. Somehow stays alive with a very nice string of plays, and now doubles back to help out once again on C-Plat.
Can't quite connect with the headshot, but still comes out of it with the trade. I think sticky grenades might be the winning formula at the moment for a weapon that's doing that, or whatever. Weapon. Stefan is still a weapon. Doing the most damage so far.
Right up there with the small but mighty concrete curb.
Oh, that's not... Sorry, it's not up there. That's...
You're right.
Stands alone. Stands alone.
Disrespectful.
Stands alone.
The curb stands alone. 10-8 here in favor of Shopify Rebellion. So pick up the first few bound, doing everything you can to stay alive, but guess what? It's a plasma age, and as we've learned from the opening moments of this game, you're not escaping that. Statistically, the outlier here, Royal 2, the first one to hit the 4-kill mark, 4 and 3, but still, of course, neck and neck here at the opening after just under 2 minutes of play. Next camo is up at 20.
Slender lead here for Shopify Rebellion, but like you mentioned, the camo is going to be the next point of contention here. 15 seconds as LastShot moves down into the pit, and the entire game,
this is big,
comes to a standstill. And if you needed an indication of how much both teams respect each other, with the power-up coming up, with 8 players alive, seeing this standstill kind of summarizes it.
At 11-9, right? That standoff was as if we were at kind of like 38-38. The kind of the patience and the drama of that is quite noteworthy. 2 dead for Optic. That will now lead to another LastShot camo.
My.
3 dead, might be 4 dead if they kill on Bound. Somehow Bound just walks in, gets 1 freebie, but won't get 2. But just like that, clear winner of that last hold, the rush and the camo is Shopify. They now go up by 7.
What a run this is from LastShot, by the way. We've seen him pick up 2 kills, goes bottom middle, almost keeps his teammate in Cykul alive, gets that kill, still alive with the camo, now moves over, picks up that grapple just as it spawns as well. So with 2 players trapped to A, he's going to send it here. He knows there's damage to be done.
Finally gets taken down there, though. However, they do take out 2. It's an amazing control and a huge swing. Let's not forget, it was just a 2-kill game. Let's get into a listen-in with Shopify Rebellion.
Hey, we're wrapping.
Yeah.
One shot.
Nice, Brad.
C-plant 2 shot.
Top right, kill me. Shock when you guys spawn. Do not let them get shot.
Hiding C-jump so.
Pipes on me, 2 shot. Yo, spawn
Bad batteries. Turbine, 1 shot.
Missing.
There's 2 pipes. They're trapped in there.
Balance out. Nice, missing.
Bound spawn.
Bob here. Yo, shock down top right. Somebody get the shit. Talk down top right.
I got you. Yo, Matt, they're all 4 spawning. All 4.
Yeah, all four.
Matt, we can hit bottom mid.
Yo, could be glass.
Glass of Victor.
Sorry, bro. Yo, can we walk BR, person?
Yo, they got the other They're gonna hit Wyatt.
Yo, Tower weak, got me.
One shot bound.
Trades are huge.
Yo, bottom big lip, got me. Bottom
Yo,
here.
bottom,
I think one's bottom here. Yep.
Alright, Wyatt's on shot, guys. Wyatt's on shot. Yep.
Yo, in tower, I have death game. He's going blue. 2 tower.
Camo, guys.
Cambo 3.
Top, legend.
Pipes getting shroud.
Hey, we got one shot. Ramp Chanel.
Wait, we
Camo.
One in balance, grapple. Grappler batteries.
You guys R2.
Yo, one mid camo going. He's in the camo corner. Left corner with it. Absolute stacks of camo going Xbox. C-stairs. I think he's C-stairs. Yeah, try to waste our time.
Yo, you might spawn out. You guys might spawn out.
Yeah, spawn out.
Yeah, good.
Yo, tell me.
Yo, Camo C-stairs. I saw Camo C-stairs. She might go blue pipes. I'll play for Camo.
We got 2 mid right now. Play for trades. 2 mid right now going. Oh, guys, C-plant out. 3.
Come to me.
Yeah, I saw.
He's on her. Just hit long.
I got a melee. Watch out.
3.
Got 2 bucks out. Got 2 bucks out.
We're gonna see box.
2 bucks out. They're like trapping the shot.
Go. Okay, glass me. Glass me here now. You're good.
No, I have glass.
Glass me back. Kill Needler. 20.
Gonna be long as well.
Well, Shopify is still in the lead for now, up by 2. Optic Gaming making somewhat of a comeback here, Andy.
Yeah, a big one. I mean, you saw they were down about 21-12, so really big moves coming in from Optic to keep things together the way they have.
Looking across the stats at the moment, it's Renegade. After a slow start in that previous game, brought it back, and he's starting to find that fire again in this game, but it's going to be 3 dead for Optic Gaming. It's a 1v1 on the map at the moment. Lqgend and LastShot as the last alive, but there's some fascinating stats to talk about. One I really want to talk about is the stats of Cykul. 11 assists at the moment. That's more than the rest, well, as many as the rest of his team combined.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. And Optic Gaming has done it. They've kept this game close somehow, despite what looked like a runaway lead at 36-33. Let's get into a listening with Optic, see if they can bring it back even further.
Needles here.
Camera shot coming. 15.
No, I'm in. Let's not push goal. Let's push tower. Let's push tower.
Yeah,
Push tower.
yeah, someone can shoot on a tower, bro. I can
What's batteries? Turbine. What's tower?
Put him. Yo, grapple one.
One shot on mid. One shot on mid. Frosty.
One shot on nice. One grapple. Weak. Camo's up now. Pretty.
He's dropping
Mangler.
on Camo. He's jumping mid bridge. Roll 2 mid bridge. Wait. Last guy. Bottom tower.
Shock is up, guys.
He's
He's Mangler. Weak.
On Camo. Frosty right now.
He didn't burn it. Long. I think Camo's still down, bro.
Can't help. Trying to come tribute.
I think Camo's still down, guys.
Hold on.
Watch your punch now. Watch your punch.
Yeah, watch him press. Trying to get shot. He's aiming belly.
I'm
He's put batteries. No, 132. We're watching crosshair.
Put him in. He's Mangler.
Ready.
Shoot up tower. Cross. Look at my cross.
Hey, cat.
I'm stuck.
My cross, man.
Dude, I died, bro. 2 cat.
Another pushing. One shot to mid.
Well, 2 kills the difference between the 2 teams as we come out of the listening. It really is going right down to the wire.
Yeah, down to the wire indeed. Renegade tries to grab that camo bats and right away gets lit up and punished for doing so, but still just a 1-kill game now. 45-44, Optic takes the lead.
Tied up again, 45-45. 5 kills to go. 2 dead on the side of Shopify Rebellion. Optic with all 4 up, and now Shopify with all 4 up as well. This game is going to slow down as Lqgend spots out 2 players and takes the damage from both as well.
And Matt Formal now holding Bat alone, as you see in the Pipes battle. Actually going to hold Bat for just a second. LastShot picks up 1 kill, though, bringing it 47-46.
Big kill kick from LastShot. just creates the opening. Frosty's going to try and open the map up as well by swinging in with this grapple. He knows there's some damage to play off of. Can he get the kill? He gets the trade, and that is good enough to put Shopify Rebellion 1 kill away now from going 2 up in this series.
No room for error here. Let's see if they try to wrap Hydro together. 49-47. They can afford to take this 2v1 if they think they have it. Here comes the push.
Just need the 1 kill. Formal has no shields. It's going to be Royal 2 who cleans it up, and Shopify Rebellion 2 to the good in the series with a 50-47 win here on Recharge.
Whew, man, Optic Gaming making things interesting yet again. That was, I mean, if you had to take a Slayer equivalent of game number 1, that was pretty close to it. Like we said, an absolutely huge 18-11 lead that became around a 21-12 lead for Shopify at the beginning of their listen-in. And then somehow when we come out of it, it's just a 2-kill game as Optic Gaming rallies back. So it feels like Optic Gaming is able to figure things out. In each and every moment, however, they start to kind of put themselves against a wall. They trail early, and they have to then make up for a deficit that when you're playing against Shopify becomes insurmountable. This one goes down to the wire as well, but it is once again very good composure coming in from Shopify Rebellion. They will close it out 50-47. And as we've seen indicated by events leading up to today, these two teams are neck and neck. And Shopify just closing out in the late game.
Very, very impressive stuff from Shopify again. You know, you're looking back on moments in that game, the little run that LastShot went on. And again, it's LastShot when we had that standoff, the 4v4 standoff right at the end. He's the player who gets the first pick, who creates the first opportunity for his team to move up the map. It really does feel like there's no one who's showing any signs of weakness individually on Shopify Rebellion.
24-15, by the way. As we said, these were a pretty big lead here, and it required pretty enormous efforts from Optic Gaming to bring this game back, and it feels like so much of their energy in this series has been spent on, okay, we just have to get back in this game after getting slaughtered, and it feels like there's just only, right, you're only going to have so much gas in the tank, so a few more things that they're going to want to figure out, and they're going to need to do it in game number 3 now, to make sure that they do not go down early by these huge deficits.
Yeah, I mean, remember, this is best of 5 as well, so if Shopify take this next one, then Optic will fall down to that lower bracket, and it's going to be Shopify Rebellion who will move on to that grand final to wait and see who will be joining them. King of the Hill Live Fire going to be our next game. First time we've seen King of the Hill on the broadcast today.
And an opportunity for Optic to gain right back into this series, and like we said it earlier today as well, and we've said it now for a lot of the part, especially for the latter years and the recent years of Halo Infinite, all it comes down to is really a final push, and it goes without saying. In a 2-1 game of Neutral Bomb and a 50-47 Slayer, that was absolutely the case in this series as well. This is really the matchup that everyone has been waiting for to take place on LAN, and so far it's Shopify with late game composure. Optic Gaming needs to find a way to dig deep here in this live fire. Let's take a look at the qualifier bracket.
Yeah, this is the qualifier bracket. This is what we saw most recently in the build-up to, of course, the first major of the year in Arlington, Texas. And it's going to be, Rebellion, who took that second series in the grand final, after winning a little bit earlier on. And I mean, you're looking at it, it's so difficult to look at this bracket and like really decipher what's happening between the two teams, because it's like 3-0 Optic Gaming, then it's 3-1 Rebellion. Like we mentioned online, it's been 27-27 in overall games, I think it was, and now we find ourselves really with the biggest chance to see these two teams go up against each other in the fairest of circumstances here on LAN. And it's looking like Rebellion. At the moment, the games are close. Don't get me wrong, the games are very close. 2-1 the first game. The second game, 3 kills between the two teams. But it's felt like the control of those two maps so far has been Rebellion's. Optic have been playing catch-up.
They really, really have. And it has felt like Shopify has not only gotten out to leads, but they have gotten out to like dominating leads that don't even look like they're playing an opponent at their caliber for moments, right? We just saw, once again, an over a 12-kill lead in the Slayer, and just a dominating game where I've never seen Renegade at a stat line of 3-17 in a game in my life. However, the game only ends 2-1. So like you said, Shopify really has been the team that has been dictating not only the pace of play, but exactly where we're playing on the map. The task here for Optic Gaming will be when they come out, make sure they're getting the first and/or second hills, right? Make sure they're staying in this. Do not allow themselves to go down 2 to hills, because even if they tie at late game, it feels like they haven't been able. It's been too little too late. So can Optic Gaming make sure they get back in this and get early points on the board? That's the question for them in game number 3.
Game number 3, as you can see, King of the Hill Live Fire. We're going to be looking at a little bit of hill time. The first one going to be, of course, over at green, which usually favors the highest seed, who will play from the A side when we talk about strongholds in the garage. And yes, indeed, it is going to be Shopify Rebellion who are going to play from that side and look to secure early control of that hill. And I think it was Renegade. He just snuck away with that sniper rifle bottom middle. Yes, indeed, there he is. He's the one who's going to have that pressure on him to hit big shots to break that initial hold that's going to be Shopify's.
Ooh, under heavy pressure from the scoreboard for just a split second. Sees 3 players on the enemy team, and finally he is taken down. 2 players from Optic Gaming will fall, might be 3, but Mound makes sure to stay alive as long as he can. You would assume he'll be taken down shortly, but he has the help of Formal, which is going to keep him alive for just a second. And already quite a bit of hill time coming in here, about 60% on the board for Shopify as all this chaos happens bottom middle.
Now you're seeing the tools required to break this setup, though, in the hands of Optic Gaming.
Big trade.
You saw the sniper rifle, you saw the camo. It's Bound who now has that sniper rifle, but they're going to have to make a play very, very quickly on this hill. And Bound knows he's in a 2v1 scenario at the back of green. He's got to wait for help. He's got to try and survive. And even though I think he hit the body,
he did.
It is going to be Shopify Rebellion still who control the back of green and will be able to step back in that hill in a moment's time.
Bill kill from Frosty, by the way, on Pillar Door on Formal. That was huge. Trading there to make it only 1 player alive. Last shot on trading was absolutely huge. It's a very fast early hill coming in, and a huge heads-up play from Frosty to force a pivotal trade for that first one.
1-0 then, Shopify Rebellion. They get that green hill on their side. Lqgend and Renegade will pick up a few kills themselves. LastShot, a little bit of trigger discipline from there. Just didn't want to give away his position, but it's going to be Shopify who find themselves 4 dead, and this is the perfect response coming in here from Optic Gaming.
Yeah, we'll see. Formal doing a little bit of screen watching, as seeing exactly where the spawns are. Some nice peek shots going in on both. Cykul also going to have to try to force his nade. Knows he's weak and trying to bait maybe a little bit of a green push. Here it comes. Nice tell time already, though. First kill does come in. 2 will fall. This should be a break. However, a lot of points on the board for Optic already.
Over halfway done on this hill. With kills falling around them, Lqgend now is going to be under pressure, trying to stay alive as long as he can. Can't quite get that trade at the bottom of the tower as well. Renegade's trying to follow up on this damage, but there's a lot of players from Shopify Rebellion still to deal with. Reverse Christmas tree.
Whatever it's called.
Now officially called.
Doesn't make any logical sense here, but something that does has been Renegade's positioning here as he stays alive. Take a look. It looked like it was going to be, oh, that's not a frag. It was going to be a position. Unfortunate there. That spike actually does damage when he thought it was a frag.
About to score.
In the end now, Optic Gaming still holding. Frosty with a big camo play here. How does he play this?
I think he's got to try and get behind enemy lines here, but now the damage has been done, he can try and collapse himself. But there's a player back tower who gets that trade, but is there an opening? Can Shopify Rebellion break? Renegade picks up 2. It's a 1v1. Lqgend has to use the QT to get back in here. He wants to take this 1v1 with Frosty, who backs out smartly towards the dummies. He's going to be able to get some assistance from spawners now. And Lqgend eventually will win that fight.
Ooh, taken down as well by Royal 2 in the end. It's 1 dead apiece. Optic Gaming only needs a little bit of a hold here. However, it was 2 dead apiece. So this hill is not done just yet.
Took the hill.
Huge plays earlier from Renegade to stay alive bottom middle and able to re-challenge from top mid and from cuts. That's what's given Optic Gaming the real good chance here on this second hill. We'll see if they can close.
LastShot just trying to bait out some more sniper bullets, and he's doing a really good job of it. 4 in the chamber still to play with here for Formal.
Here comes the push. They know they got to go now. They really only have 1 to 2 max pushes on this hill if the hill continues being controlled.
I mean, this is the kind of hill that can really make or break a series for Optic, right? If they lose this one, having been so close.
They're baiting. Shopify not playing hill just yet. 2 dead. Here
really
comes the push.
Break. And this is a big moment here for Formal. Moves in with the sniper rifle in his hands. 3 bullets still to play with. Cykul still being a nuisance. Lqgend will deal with him. It's 2 dead for Shopify. And it becomes a 2v2 very quickly as Optic will finally break. They will convert that hill, and I think that's a big moment for Optic. Think about what goes through their minds if they lose that one, having been so close to closing it out.
Absolutely. Like we said, they needed to get either the first or the second, preferably both, but in the end, they'll take that. They trade out the first 2 hills, and they are right alongside Shopify in this game. Ooh, nice job. Royal 2 hits the shot with barely any time window to do so. Just like that. He's 7-7-7 in this one. 3 lucky 7s across the board, and we'll see if he can continue to rank up that number.
This is a couple of body shots that normally Royal 2 would hit. As LastShot goes back up the chimney himself with that repulse. Lqgend and Renegade were waiting for him, though, and Cykul finds himself as last alive.
Explodes.
Spring explodes. The guy He was trying to slide it in on him at A. Camo's coming up in a few moments, but it's Shopify with control of Optic with control of this hill.
Yeah, World 2 was your first spawner. He's bottom mid, and just take a look already at the scoreboard on your third hill. It's going to be clean, especially. However, first 2 kills do come in. Royal 2 now just going to look to flush out the window as well. Should be able to do so. That was 3 dead. 4th kills on the scoreboard. They should be able to even maybe on this hole to close out the 3rd hill.
Lqgend and Bound are the only ones alive, and Lqgend I think is the furthest up on the map, and you can see on the overhead that he's already, only halfway up the map, and it looks indeed like they're going to give this one up. They're going to play for this mud hill, so it's Shopify Rebellion who locked down the garage, and now it's going to be up to Optic, who have played for this rotation towards the next hill to hold down this mud.
Yeah, it was a bit too easy there as Optic Gaming lets that one go. In the end, they know they had to give up the final moments of the hill, but let way too much time go on the board earlier. Frosty's the first to fall. However, those kills will be traded out. Royal 2 knows he needs to stay alive top tower here.
Renegade going to try and flush him out. Renegade will do exactly that. It's 3 dead for Shopify Rebellion, and it looks like that decision to give up the final push and play for the new hill is the correct one here for Optic, as they're looking pretty good. Sniper rifle coming up as well. Bound's going to grab that. And with Frosty already in the death screen, Bound now takes control of this tower, and with so many angles to play with, Bound can have some fun.
Yeah, especially if they get first pick again. Lqgend does fall though, so a 4v3 momentarily. They need to answer this back, and especially either a body shot or especially a headshot would be a big difference maker here. Needs to hold tower if he can. Right now, likely going to just try to get a pick, and at best, just hold back tower. Oh my God, that's the pick he needed. Might even get 2. Oh, the QT.
It saved everyone's blushes, I think, the QT.
Yep.
Bound now steps inside of the hill and looks towards Big Door as Shopify Rebellion have 2 dead, and they are respawning over towards A on the scoreboard. This is an Optic hill.
What a play from Bound. Last player alive and somehow hits the shot. He had no business winning that 1v2 scenario. Takes out a player on Nest. And just like that, stays alive long enough for the team to push there. We are tied at 2-2. Optic Gaming making sure they take that 4th hill.
And they still have tower control here and still have bullets in that sniper rifle. Bound hasn't had to really use a lot of ammunition in this hold. A lot of Optic players have been doing a lot of work in the last few minutes, and with 2 minutes left on the game clock and the game tied up at 2-2, there's plenty of time for Optic and Bound to still go to work.
Bound just checking Nest. Might not have been aware the last shot was there, but he still has a feeling. Spidey sense is tingling, and that kill will come, and that will give them the first pick, maybe even a second. Hits the no-scope when he needed to. 3 dead again. Cycle's the last player alive here. Formal gonna go ahead, jump right in for a second, try to find this last kill. First, he wants to snipe though. Body shot hits, but kills being exchanged. It was 2 dead for a second for Optic Gaming. Not over just yet. Big camo. Can LastShot get in? Let's see if he can disrupt this.
We've seen how camos have made or break.
They're gonna give it
games and moments. Shopify, they've got him out a hill. And LastShot now is just trying to clear the tower. That repulse is big. It sends Lqgend away, but most importantly, keeps him alive without trading. And Optic have not won this hill quite yet.
I think it's the curb that kept his heels on there, actually, if we take a look at the replay.
Back.
He's back. LastShot now with the camo, and what a set of plays. However, like you said, Optic Gaming only a toe away from closing out this hill. And finally, it should be moments away. They will get it. Optic Gaming will go into the lead for the first time this game at 3-2. 1:36 left on the clock.
Now, how do Optic play this? Do they play time? Do they try and close this one out? 1 minute 30 left is kind of an awkward amount of time to try and think around that decision.
Almost.
Frosty still at the back of green. Lqgend is going to chase him down. Frosty trying to be an absolute nuisance. Lqgend trying to do exactly the same move himself. It's 2 dead for Optic. Renegade with a big win, though. Makes this a 2v2. But control of green is in the hands of Shopify Rebellion, and for Optic fans and Optic players, that's where the hill is, and that is not good news.
This is going to be dicey. LastShot is down, though, so let's see if Optic Gaming tries to push the man advantage right away. Not just yet. They're actually going to wrap C here and cut. It's a C cuts wrap, as well as now a Big Door delayed push.
Lqgend finds one, and so does Renegade, so numbers starting to favor the side of Shopify Rebellion. Royal 2 is just buying time, just being a nuisance. Renegade gets sent off! The timing, as Royal 2 just waited for him to line up. As Formal hits the body now.
Big 1v1.
As Shopify Rebellion find themselves 2 dead here.
Frosty wins essentially the ability to stay alive in the back and continue scoring. Formal, though, still alive on Nest Bridge. All 8 players up. Watch for the pick.
Shopify are trying to win this one. They want to win this hill. They've got over 2/3 of it done. Formal has to get aggressive. He has to try and hit some bodies, but Cykul is there with a double kill that shuts down this push. LastShot's going to move up and grab this sniper rifle as well. And with 50 seconds or so left in this game, Shopify might be about to tie this one up at 3-3.
And they do now, tied 3-3, 50 seconds left. And everything to play for. This has been a back and forth game. Neither team leading by more than 1 hill at any time in the game.
Back to the tower then.
Enemy team took the
Shopify
hill.
repeat what happened on that first hill. That's 2 green hills that went their way. It was Optic who won this one, but Shopify did make it tough for them. Royal 2 with this camo could be the game changer though. 30 seconds or so left on this game clock. Shopify again, stepping in this hill. They want to really keep Optic at bay here. Really want to put the pressure on them.
30 seconds remaining.
Camo disappears as Renegade now baits him out, and the help comes in from Formal.
Just at the wrong time, gets exposed and absolutely gets annihilated from the nest angle. And just like that, it's 2 dead for the side of Shopify, and Optic Gaming will now look to hold here.
Haven't seen that sniper rifle in the last few moments. That's not available on the map for either team to really put to use. It's all about those bandits. It's all about the likes of Lqgend staying alive on the tower. Frosty took a little bit of damage, if I'm not mistaken, from that grenade. Gets his shields back, though. There's going to be a flank coming in. Lqgend trying to do what he can to stay alive. Forces one away. Bound to find one. Lqgend sends Royal 2 off the map.
3 dead.
With 3 dead, now Optic will step inside of this hill. It's a great life from Lqgend.
Oh, and it's 4 dead as well, and it's a delayed death from Cykul. That means they're going to be spawning all not together and all one at a time here. Finally, you're going to have 3 up. They're going to have to wait for Cykul off to push. And let's see, can Optic Gaming hold? And maybe in regulation.
LastShot gets the first pick, though. When that last happened, there was the Slayer game that ended up going the way of Shopify Rebellion. Renegade flies down. It's 2 dead here for Optic. Lqgend will find another one. Frosty going to be challenging him. Back tower. It's another big double kill that turns into a killing spree in the late game here for Lqgend.
Big kill from Royal 2. Can Royal 2? No, he cannot stay alive. Bound makes sure to clear it out. That's 3 dead here. And of course, we are well into overtime. Now only seconds away from closing it out.
This is going to be Optic's hill by the looks of things. It's one more push. At the back of the tower, Cykul somehow almost managed to make some magic happen, but it's not going to. And Optic will answer back here with a 4-3 win on Livefire King of the Hill. That was a good game, man. That was back and forth the entire time.
Unbelievable, and so happy to see it. It feels like with the way these two teams are playing, it feels like it's warranted that we get more games in this series, right? With the way that these two teams have been neck and neck, with the way the games have gone for Optic Gaming, either leading or coming so close to getting back in the lead. It feels like it's only fitting that we get to see more games out of these two in the winner's final. 4-3 is your final score in favor of Optic Gaming after trailing essentially throughout the entire game, only taking the lead at the 3 hill mark. Taking a look at some of the stats from that game.
Looking across the board, there's no real standout, so to speak, when you look at the stats. It's just heavy lifting from everybody, right? Yeah. Everybody's doing the work, and you're looking across damage. I mean, the damage stats summarize everything, right? Everybody, Formal with the least damage in the lobby, but everybody over 5k, nobody breaking 7k. It's pretty consistent across the board. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from that first game. First hill from that, last game is going to be the first hill that went the way of Shopify Rebellion. The second hill, Optic managed to answer back on that tower side. His name from Cykul, by the way. Like,
I've never seen Bound explode faster.
Or further.
An absolute carnage, a bloodbath there. I think we were hoping it. The key that, like we said, we suspected, it was all about Optic Gaming never letting themselves, by the way, this from Bound as well, just making things happen, and eventually somehow even stays alive in this entire sequence.
Cycle's like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, that's not a battle he was interested in taking, but Bound once again on the same exact angle. And the key for Optic Gaming, as we said, was to not find themselves down by 2 where they have to pull off miracle plays, which, by the way, they're capable of. Great little no-scope there on the cuts. If the only body is there, there's a chance that trade does not happen. But it was really all about simply making sure they stayed in the game. And if they're able to do that, they could find themselves even sending this series even further.
So game 4 now looms. This final life from Lqgend, by the way, it's very similar to what we saw from Snakebite a little bit earlier in those big moments. Staying alive in tower, it's not about picking up kills initially. It's about dealing damage. It's about survivability. And the kills eventually, if you capitalize on damage from teammates and callouts from teammates, will come to you. This is how the series looks now as we head towards Oddball on Streets. First time we're going to see Streets in the tournament.
It really is, yeah. Going to be fantastic to have a little bit of Streets matchup to decide it. And I tell you what, it's a perfect kind of setting here, as Optic Gaming is going to have to play a very fast-paced Halo on Oddball Streets and make sure they do whatever they can to send this to a game number 5. But as you say, the first thing they'll need to do is an Oddball Streets. And it's amazing, by the way. I think we expected it based off of not only the rosters themselves, but online as well. Just that the games would be this close, but they have indeed been this close, right? It's always been 1 flag, 1 bomb, 3 kills that have been deciding these games.
So Optic back into the series, and I think just a little bit of maybe a confidence boost for them as well with the way that the first 2 games went. And now we're going to have to see what Shopify are made of. A little bit of pressure being put back onto their side of the stage that you can see in front of you. As now we get to play a little bit of oddball. Like we mentioned the first time that we've seen Streets. Oddball looked pretty good for both teams so far, though. A little bit of a close one for Optic against FaZe, but we saw how good FaZe played in that series. Shopify very dominant in the game that we saw them against SSG a little bit earlier. But dominance is a phrase I don't think you're going to hear too many times this season when we see these two teams going up against each other. It's game number 4. It's going to be Streets Oddball.
It really does feel like, once again, somehow, even when you have shuffled the roster so much this way, as we take a look at the opening rush, that the games are still just as close, even closer than they were last season so far, and even a lot more Halo to play today. Renegade tries to play the angle on Cykul and gets away with it.
That is disgusting for Renegade, not missing a bullet. Cykul, you were expecting at some point just to clean that up, but there must have been some sort of crazy stroke going on from Renegade, because that was the wiggles of all wiggles from him, and now he's looking to do it to Cykul again. Cykul doesn't want to see Renegade again. He's had enough.
Renegade, by the way, doesn't even really go for the 3 with the red gun. He just pummels him in the chest until it died. Beautifully done, and might even get away with his life here. Yes, he does. Gonna have to wait for help here. Royal 2 with the camo in play.
Now Renegade finds himself as last alive, and he's going to go down as well. So LastShot, by picking up that final kill, allows Shopify Rebellion to get their hands on the odd ball and move it back to Tram for the first time. Look at Royal 2. He's so annoying.
Knows his way around the ferns.
In game.
They call him the botanist.
Not to be confused with ex-European Halo French player Botanist.
Botanist. Yeah, actually that could cause a lot of confusion. You're right. Only a few points on the board apiece here. 2 dead for the side of Shopify, so Cykul knows he needs to play it slowly and focus on these pivs over at B stairs. Just going to slow down, wait for his teammates.
Optic with the ball in their hands for now. 20 points will go their way. By the way, those shots from Cykul, like, we get to that point now where people know angles so well that even a head glitch isn't going to be good enough to, like, really give you much of an advantage against a player like Cykul in those individual fights. Just hits 3, even though it's only the top of the forehead that he's got to aim at. It's a really good hold, though, from Optic. They've had this ball back at Tram for quite some time. Camo going to be the point of contention, which will force Optic to move up the map a little bit. But instead, they're just going to give this one up and allow Shopify and LastShot to make a play off the back of it.
Yeah, it's a very nice shroud, and there's no way, even if you have angles from C stairs as well as bottom C, that you're going to be able to shut down that grab with the shroud. It's a really nice job. Look at LastShot as well. Probably wanted to go back, but instead going to clean up this kill wisely. He also tosses the ball look into C while still staying engaged and taking full advantage of this camo. We'll see if they can get right back in this.
2 players here from Optic. Love this play from LastShot, though. He just felt like something wasn't quite right there. Tried to back out, tried to play his life. The fact that Formal isn't looking for a trade in that situation usually means that there's a little bit of help around the corner, but it's going to be Frosty who's looking for a beat down. He pummels Renegade into the ground for that double kill. Formal now looking to hold off the push from the pink street and move towards Royal 2 as that ball.
Nice little nade on the bottom Tram player. That is not the easiest nade from Laundry to hit that skip onto that bottom C angle, but in the end he does. It was 3 dead for Optic. Lqgend was the last player alive, which will mean more time on the board here for Shopify. It's a momentary 2v2.
Shopify trying to just chip away at this lead that Optic have at the moment. They're doing a pretty good job. 13 points between the 2 teams.
You can tell Cykul knows he might need to think about, it's kind of transitional right now. He knows he doesn't have the traditional support that you would have over at Tram, so a really nice, and even kind of, I'm not sure if that was intentional, but baits the ball by getting a double kill. Might even now be a triple. Look at this play from Cykul, is unbelievable there. Baits it with a kind of almost fakes a neon rotate, but in the end, just drops ball out front, which allows him to get very creative with the angles. They did not expect him to be on back Tram, and just like that, they now go into the lead.
They go into a lead indeed, and as they do so, let's jump into a listen-in with Shopify Rebellion and see how the comms are as they do take the lead.
Back of me! No, one back of me, middle. Back of me still. Watch out.
On the break.
Two, one guy middle, close on me. Watch
Absolutely back Ivy. He's still back Ivy, Brad, just sitting on the plants, running up top Ivy right now. Grab the ball. All guy by himself, and nothing in C.
2v box.
Top Ivy, Brad. Top Ivy right now.
Yeah, that's one close. That's one close.
Wait, be step weak.
I got shot.
B steps.
I'm looking B1.
Two on me.
Yeah, we push top tires.
There's one more here. I'm going to touch you, bro. I don't have Mando.
Enemy has the ball.
I'm going driveway.
Your camo's out 5. Camo's out 5.
Okay, Mando. Mando right now. One guy driveway. Mando's one. They're both Mando now. I think he's one Mando. These one purple.
Yeah, I see trash. 2 trash. One trash. One more trash.
Nice. One's hunter. John, kill.
He might be Ivy.
Probably.
He is Ivy. I'm dead. Ivy.
I'm playing front. You're gonna. You're trying 3 shot.
Bounce. On you weak.
One guys.
Harry Potter.
2 mid.
Got one guy beat up. Mid China right now going for C. Trying to be set right now. Two B row.
2, one's going tires right now. Yo, tires and soccer going back to A. 2 tires. Tires, yo, they soccer at A. We need a Dane buff for soccer guy. He's gonna push you wide. I'm done.
2 cafe. I've agreed that game. 2 cafe. One guy tires now to tires. Tires with stalker. One guy purple. One guy tires right. One guy heaven and Legion.
Tires weak. Just aim for the ball, guy.
Tires one shot. Absolute tires. And then PD. Tires one shot.
Come here.
Still PD.
Yeah, watch your back.
Look at tires, guys. Yeah, Formal's gonna spawn out too.
Back A now.
Back A, formal.
That's Formal.
Agent
is all.
Agent weak. One guy tires on E. Tires in cafe. Tires with soccer.
Agent still absolute agent.
Agent cafe.
Still absolute cafe.
Tires weak, legend.
Still one cafe.
Alright, camo 10. Camo 10. Don't really have time.
2 seconds, I'm here.
Cafe. Yeah, we have a lot. Yeah, camo 5.
One.
Nice, good kill, dude. Hey, stay alive.
So as we leave the Shopify side, it's been all Optic ever since. 88 points on the board for them, getting very, very close to closing out this round.
Yeah, and it really feels like Optic Gaming, like we said, their resilience here, and not only in late game, but in late series, seems to be really prevalent and on the board here. But Cykul wants to shut that down with the camo. They pick up one that's 2 dead and a man advantage. We'll see if they can continue holding.
Yeah, a few times today we've seen between the 2 teams that have been on our screens, it's like it feels like a round is coming to an end, and then there's a little twist that makes it very, very competitive in those final moments. And Shopify are looking to do exactly that once more. Shopify have the ball in their hands. Trade comes in again from Cykul in a situation where his camo disappears. Legend will trade it out. And now you're going to see Optic maybe with a chance to close this out in and around the red room.
Yeah, Cykul at least would have wanted to trade there on the window, but instead unable to do so. That's going to be the final hold here coming in from Optic Gaming on the driveway. The pressure will not be able to come in time, and they will take round number 1. And as the series goes on, Mark, it's a lot. It feels like the longer they play, regardless of if we're talking about specifically within a game type or within a series, it feels like this Optic Gaming roster, the more Halo time on the board, the less you should like the chances of their opponents. They take the first round. They want to force a game 5.
If I could put money on LastShot, getting first bloods in games, like leading a tournament for that, I think I'd be a rich man. Because he is just every single time that we see an opening break, a standoff situation, I swear he is always the one who gets that first pick, and it was exactly the same off of the break here. It should allow him to move in and get the camo. There's the Shroud again. Perfect teamwork and communication.
Unbelievable. I mean, that is a luxury. To be shrouded as you're about to start engaging is incredibly great timing coming in there from the side of Shopify Rebellion. They're right back in this game now with a 20-point lead early on.
LastShot's playing this so well as well. Renegade see him?
He saw him.
He saw something. He's like, wait, something's not right about this. This corner looks different.
I do love how at benches it was a legitimate double take from Renegade. He goes, wait a second.
Wait.
Someone's
He was right. He was right. That's one thing that we can say.
You know, he would have been going nuts in the comms without a doubt, saying someone is here, and guess what? Not even a single kill out of that camo.
Something's not right, dude.
I can feel it.
Bound versus LastShot. LastShot wins that one and gets the ball back to tower as well, as Optic will find themselves 2 dead. Royal 2 now on a flank of the last 2 players alive. Should be able to deal with them. There's one. Did they just spawn PD? They did spawn PD.
Unbelievable. Now Royal 2's going to have to fight even more players than he originally budgeted against. But he says, no problem, we can do that as well.
They got 3 dead anyway.
Yeah.
So it looks like they accounted for it somehow, or it at least worked out.
Bound's also a late kill, so this is going to be staggered. This should be good amount of time here for Shopify. And if they get this opening damage as well, they have also look at the red room angle. So this is important. We'll see if LastShot can hold. He's not able to because he's kind of left on his own.
Look at that jiggle from Royal 2. In his own words, it's good to jiggle.
He says you can still jiggle.
You can still jiggle.
People thought it was kind of a prohibition-esque ban on the jiggles. Jiggling still encouraged. Ooh, almost takes down Renegade as well. Keep an eye on bottom mid, though. Let's see what happened to that camo.
40 points on the board already, 41 points. I'm underselling them. for Shopify Rebellion.
It
And
was not
Cykul
burned. Was not burned.
picks up a double, and that allows the last shot, like you say, to pick up that camo that was not burned, and he knows exactly where those spawns are coming in.
Oh.
Renegade knows there's something wrong with that door as he sees not just the
This
glare.
door's
Everywhere he
different.
looks at the moment, this is good camo again.
Frowned upon in most societies to sit outside the police station in such a matter, but Frosty going to be your last player alive, and they're going to be able to hold. And just like that, Optic Gaming on the board for the first time. And it seems to be the story that Optic Gaming, a little bit of a slow start in the game, but once they find the footing, they know how to run with it.
Pretty sure that Lqgend just got hit with a frag grenade, a stalker,
And a laser.
bolt, and a bandit bullet.
Yeah.
And it looked like that. It looked like
a laser.
Yeah, you deserve to die if that happens. Formal now with that stalker rifle going to be challenging. Royal 2 can't connect with the headshot, but backs up smartly enough to allow Cykul to have that angle. And the bait and switching and Shopify Rebellion is something that I really have enjoyed as well. Talk about that natural synergy.
Beautiful.
Cykul and Royal 2, I feel like, are really starting to be a duo here in the way that they play the game and they see the game.
I really like that. Like you said, that was definitely an I got you man moment. Just drops the ball, gets the shot in, keeps each other alive, then Cykul just drop slides away. Now allows Royal 2 to take ridiculous angles and flanks like this that you're seeing on your screen right now.
He has the ball.
Doesn't just jiggle.
Trying to
this man.
rotate as well.
Not just a jiggler, he's got more of that.
Wiggler as well.
More in his armory where that came from. Cykul now. 1v1 with Bound. Bound is going to win that one. Shopify Rebellion find themselves 2 dead. Camo coming up, and you get the feeling that Optic need to start picking these up. Most of this round, they have been controlled by Shopify.
It's once again, the last time we saw Shopify playing ball was the first series of the day, and I want to point out the way that they were able to have those transitional holds was really fantastic. The way they're able to, once again, as Royal 2 goes front C, and they immediately go to a transitional purple hold. And you saw that they, even if they got the kills that they needed around C, they would have continued to hold. But guess what? It also acts as a play ball now, and they're not losing time on the board.
Well, Bound has got the camo, and Optic need to start formulating some sort of comeback in this round. Let's jump into a listen-in and hear what the comms are like.
Purple, Frosty. Here, John.
Ready. Watch out, bottom way.
Agent, Frosty. Cafe, one check Frosty.
BJ.
Agent, no, I got naded. Weak agent.
He's wait, 18 watch out.
Balls alone. Really weak on ball, man. Really weak on ball. They're gonna be close, you guys, close. One shot, BJ. Royal 2, one shot, Royal 2 shot, BJ. Royal 2 shot, BJ. He's back in now, Royal 2.
One shot, 2 weak stuck.
One's back in, John.
Go back.
One
shot back, PD, Frosty.
Top
PD, Frosty.
Bottom me, watch out,
Went out laundry, I think. It's laundry.
Let's go.
Okay, calm down.
Every press man you can say. Every press man.
I'm still watching, good.
Bottom C.
Every press. He's back heavy with 2 shot.
Okay, John.
Nice, Bound.
Red, arcade was on.
Coming benches, one shot benches.
Yeah,
One.
2B.
Watch out,
TP on me.
Go on, 2 dead.
Let's get peace. Let's go, guys.
PD on you.
Very super.
PD.
Tires, watch out. Cykul.
He has the ball.
PD. Go, above. Watch out.
Watch agent. Just see one still.
2. Agent.
One shot, last shot, stalker. One shot ball.
Watch out, Cafe. Watch out.
Cafe's one.
Right.
One more agent. Agent back. Cafe down. Kill the team.
I couldn't.
Optic starts to lose a few players here as we come out of the listening, but there has been some sort of a comeback, but with the ball in the hands of Frosty now and Shopify Rebellion, this could be the final 2 moments. A couple of players desperately trying to chase him down, but this should be enough time. Bought by Frosty. No, yes! He does get that final second, and it's going to be tied up at 1-1.
All right, now, once again, how fitting that we would go to a 3rd round. It feels like you already knew that we were going to get a guaranteed round number 3 between these 2 teams, and once again, Optic Gaming with their backs against the walls yet again. And now only 1 round away, potentially, from letting Shopify... Oh, nades actually colliding on Driveway. You don't see that every day. A Plasma colliding with a frag, and in the end, no kills exchanged just yet. Royal 2 is the first to fall, and LastShot as well.
Frosty does get away with the Stalker rifle, but he's going to be one of the last 2 players alive. Can't finish off Bound as well, and Lqgend takes down Cykul, so Bound will survive for a few moments at least. Frosty chases him down, but there's the help. Bound being a nuisance, Frosty decides, I'm going to keep this Stalker rifle in my hands instead.
Frosty's like, I wish I hadn't done any of this, actually. I didn't want to be involved in any of that. Bound somehow stays alive twice. First on his own effort, and then with some great help from teammates as well. Finally, Frosty picks up the kill.
Snaps onto Lqgend as well. Hits 2 shots while no shield.
Beautiful.
That's the kind of play, again, it's like you have no right to do that. That is a game-changing play, a situation-changing play from Frosty. Even though it's not kills, that damage converts into Cykul, being able to move in, get a camo, and a flank now onto the last two players of Optic who are moving through the cafe.
Oh, he thought he looked away. We've all done it. We've all done it. He looked away. He knew the player was there, though. You could tell by the way he was angling on the pillar. Unfortunate for him that he looks away. Might have gotten away with a melee as well. Ends of trade damage. It's 3 dead. Cykul was your last player alive. Looks like he's going to actually be a first spawner on purple.
Formal with the ball in his hands. 26 and 21 for Formal at the moment, and about to, by the looks of things, go into the lead with an objective time as well. Lqgend is that player at the moment who holds that down with 49 points, but Formal overtakes him now.
Ball dropped.
Ball in and around PD. Renegade avoids that grenade just enough to get the shots onto LastShot. Cykul should be taken down as well. It's going to be Lqgend who gets that kill. That's 3. That's 4. All players from Shopify Rebellion will fall, and Optic looking very, very good in this final round of Obble.
Game 5. Game 5. Game 5.
Wait, but let me try that again. For some reason, I was considering that I do music. I was so out of time with you, I'm disgusted with myself.
No, don't worry. Maybe I came out of time. By the way,
no, you started it.
Okay. Camo popping up right now. We'll see if they're able to grab this camo as well. No, Royal 2, of course. Renegade was your last player alive. So despite still holding, he's going to try to play this from top A, presumably at some point. Eventually, actually just drops it. Fountain is going to try to live to tell the tale. Instead, it's going to be the push here. But he stays alive long enough where Bound's able to get some really good damage.
Let's make an agreement that if Optic do win this, we'll try that again. But for now, let's see if Optic do close this round out. Royal 2 looking to make a difference, though, with this camo.
Big moment here in the game. Royal 2 trying to stay alive with this camo and also just trying to hold back A. Eventually take it down, and some good early damage, but needs to stay alive. Will shroud himself in order to do so.
Now playing in an obnoxious corner. Gets those shields back, and now he's going to step forward. Still got that side kick to play with as well. Good shots onto Lqgend. Is going to slow down that push at least. LastShot and is going to actually pick up 2 kills with grenades by the looks of things. One with the plasma and one with the stick. So LastShot making the stickies work again.
I mean, Formal and Lqgend are just still trapped cafe. A few points on the board come in. In the end, it's not a huge loss, but they knew they couldn't do much. They actually forced a little bit of a trade here, which I think they're going to feel pretty good about as the last 2 players alive. And in the end, they've forfeited about 10 points off the whole exchange. So they're able to hold them off for quite a while, but Shopify slowly getting back in this.
Such an awkward angle for Frosty to have to play from there. More damage from that Stalker, though. Shot after shot. Just think about how many shields Frosty just broke while having no shields himself. So much damage being done, but he's going to be taken down. Cykul's going to have to look for the play ball. Gets the catch! Gets the catch, the rebound from Renegade!
I think it was risky. He knew there was...
got hands.
Yeah, he knew there was a player on A stairs there, so Renegade's just going to actually be jumping and holding the grab ball button there to make sure he catches it immediately. Camo coming up in 8. Game 5. Game 5. Game 5. Game 5.
So there we go. We got the rhythm.
76 points on the board here. Optic Gaming closing it out. I love how in unofficial tournaments you and I are allowed to be extremely biased and games like this, but as neutral fans, we just want to see a 5th and final game between these two. Only 20 points away from Optic Gaming being able to close it out. Bound's the last player alive, though. He's able to get the camo, and maybe will stay alive.
Oh, stays alive. Shopify can't take him down, and now he can sneak behind enemy lines. But there's Frosty! No trade for Bound. Camo dealt with.
Big moment there in the game. You figured Bound would have at least been able to stay alive, maybe even gotten damage or a pick. In the end, though, it goes the complete opposite way. 2 will fall. And it's not over just yet. We might have jinxed it. We forgot to counter jinx. 78 to 50 here.
We should know better by now.
Counter jinx.
Nice job. Not sure if there's a time window that we have to do that within, but
if
we certainly were pushing the boundaries if there is.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better.
2 dead for Optic. 2 dead for Shopify. Mr. Jiggles himself is once again dancing around this pillar. It's going to be Formal, though. He breaks through. He finds 1. And all of a sudden, the kills start to feel like they mean a little bit more on either side of this stage. It's going to be 4 dead for Shopify Rebellion. All of them line up for Optic, and Formal has the ball in his hands.
Look at that. Leans back. A little bit of screen watching, telling the team exactly what they need to do. He feels like this might be the last hold, especially if they get opening damage here. This could be it.
They've got such a good perimeter here as well. But LastShot has snuck through. LastShot somehow, but Renegade picks him up. Lqgend gets another one as well. Last 2 players are going to be in front of Formal here. Both are no shields.
Wow.
1 dealt with. He grabs that odd ball as well. And Optic send us to game 5, everybody. The first one of the day. This series was always going game 5. Why did we bother with the first 4?
Really glad we counter jinxed.
Thank goodness.
That was a close one, folks, and I want to give a shout out, unfortunately, for Royal 2.
Yeah, so on
he taught us the counter jinx. And we'll hope that he doesn't find out about what just happened, what went down. 240 to 203 is your total elapsed score across the 2 rounds, but it's 2-1 in favor of Optic Gaming. They will send us to a 5th and final game between these two, and that's exactly the way we want it.
There's no way for Royal 2 to find out. It's not like this is being broadcast live across
on the internet?
Various channels.
Challenges.
We
were having a lot of challenges.
From the moment we wake up.
Look at the damage.
Look at the damage stats.
Renegade versus LastShot.
Yeah, 2 players breaking 10K, as you say. Renegade and LastShot both doing that. 2-1 in final rounds, but Optic, I think the big thing for there is they started to convert some 4 deads. We were seeing some 3 deads in the earlier rounds, but it was the 4 deads that were making the difference between a 15 to 20 second hold and a 20 to 30 second hold, and that is significant when it comes to Halo Infinite.
Really is, and we saw it just time and time again, that little bit of edge that Optic Gaming was able to find. And what did we say? Optic Gaming is all of a sudden playing where they're getting the lead way earlier in the game, right? They're leading by 30, they're leading by 40. They're not having to play catch-up the entire game, which is just so difficult with your back against the wall.
It certainly is. By the way, the Renegade double take, I'd forgotten about that for a second.
Yeah,
but
that was good.
It was good to see in the replay package. Renegade had a really good game here as well, not just with the damage, but I feel like he was contributing to like a lot of important plays. Yeah, this isn't a kill, so to speak, that really means anything. It's a kill, and the conversion on keeping a setup, keeping that side of the map in control of Optic, and the oddball there as well. The 4 dead right at the end here. You can see Formal knew it was done after that. And we find ourselves with the opportunity for Optic Gaming to reverse sweep.
How about it?
Shopify Rebellion, Slayer, Solitude. The first time we've seen this map at the tournament is up next.
Man, and what a statement that would be. For the first time that these two meet on land, for it to be, I mean, once again, we've been saying it all day, but especially earlier on in this series, 2-1 Neutral Bomb Fortress, 50-47 Slayer Recharge, and of course, King of the Hill Live Fire and Oddball Streets also only decided by a single point. Neck and neck between these two. What a start it would be if Optic Gaming, in the end, reverse sweeps. But I gotta say, no matter what happens in this series, it has already delivered. This is gonna be a fantastic game number 5.
And a reminder, we've got so much more Halo to come this season. We haven't even officially started the season. This is the table set. This is the Kaysan Showdown. Again, shout out to Kaysan for everything that he's done to support Halo and the players and the teams that we have playing here today in Texas. This is what we got to look forward to. The season starts very, very soon indeed. April 18th to 20th, we will be in Arlington, Texas for the kickoff major of the year, the Optic Gaming kickoff. And then we move to DreamHack, of course, which we have tickets available for right now if you want to be a part of that. Then we head to Salt Lake City, where we've got the SSG major, and then to be announced very, very soon location, we have the FaZe major before the Halo World Championships in Seattle. $1 million on the line. You wonder what the scene's going to look like at that point.
Oh, man.
You really do.
Keep in mind, you could have some big team changes. You could have teams who have started from the bottom, maybe placing 3rd or 4th here at this event, and then all the way cranking it up with big land placings. Impossible to predict, which is exactly how we like it.
And in the words of Lucid, watch this space.
Yes.
Watch this space. We're going to have to see how the rest of the season, or the season in total, develops. We haven't even got to the first event yet. But this wonderful preview that we do have really does give us an indication of what we can expect at the Optic Major in just a few weeks' time. It's come around very quickly. We were saying it's been great to be back. It's been great to watch Halo again and cast over these games live. But for us, we were sitting there, we were like chomping at the bit through the off-season. We're like, let's get back. And then all of a sudden we're into it, and it's event after event. I love how the events are spaced out this season. It feels like there's not much of a wait between either of them.
Yeah, I really agree. And also coming out of this, right, let's not forget, these teams are only going to have roughly, 2 weeks' time to take a look at what happened at this event on LAN. And I think what they're actually going to have to do is triage what are the biggest things we want to worry about, right? These teams are not going to have all of the opportunity to look at every single thing they want on every single game type by the time Arlington gets around. They're going to have to look at these big picture items, maybe even as you heard Lucid and Royal 2 and Bound talking about, these big philosophical kind of chemistry things and how do they address them coming into the first event.
You can see that Renegade is really trying to make a point about something here. There's a real enthusiasm and determination about how he's delivering the communication to his Optic teammates ahead of this Game 5 that we have in front of us. Quick question, was it triage?
Triage.
What does that mean? I'm asking for you, chat, and whoever's watching at home.
Oh,
I know
because
you know it.
Yeah, right, because you know what it means.
Yeah.
But you're asking for chat.
Yeah.
Of course. They're going to go through
Not that I'm speaking down to you, chat.
No, yeah, they're going to go through.
From a place of love.
They're going to go through, Mark, and they're going to find out what's most important. And they're going to work on those things.
I got you, chat. Don't worry.
Good work from you. You're a man of the people.
Really am.
There's no way you were figuring out what that meant.
Game 5, Game 5. I mean, it is great to see a Game 5 between these two. I think everyone was hoping for it, possibly expecting it, considering what we've seen online. But the fact that it is now on LAN and we are here, and on LAN and seeing these two teams duke it out, and it is continuing that pattern, it's mouth-watering about what this season, and the story that's going to develop between these two teams as we roll through those tournaments.
I mean, it really is fist bumps across the board on both sides.
Shaky one from Bound.
That's true, you got to worry about that one.
And it's Bound's fault, it's not Box's fault. The man's got too many years of experience of fist bumping to mess that up.
Well, you know what the carved wooden board on his wall says.
Everything I do is calculated.
Everything the man does is calculated. He doesn't miss fist bumps. Doesn't miss camos either, and they're going to have their eyes on the top mid in this game. It's going to be Slayer Solitude, game number 5 between Shopify Rebellion and Optic Gaming in their LAN debut in 2020-25. Which team will take this first victory and send their opponents to the elimination bracket? Only one game to decide it.
And even though it's a game type that hasn't changed from last season, there are some changes, of course, to things like weaponry, strafe speed. The shock rifle, not as effective when you're not scoping in anymore. It doesn't have that kind of devastating no-scope effect that we've seen previously. So big shots have to be hit. You can pressurize that player a little bit more. As we head into our first Game 5 of our new year in 2025, let's see who comes out on top.
Cykul tries to come through alone. It's interesting to see Royal 2 stay blue when Cykul tries to wrap yard late. In the end, doesn't pay off. First 2 kills go to Optic.
LastShot got that shot though. You saw him in the kill feed. He managed to pick up 1 kill. Frosty has absolutely no idea of where Renegade is. He flies in to keep the camo player of Lqgend alive.
Beautiful.
And it's been a fantastic start here for Optic Gaming. 4-1 up. LastShot is still alive with that shock. He's trying to waste some ammo.
Wow, look
But
at
he
the
can't
teamwork.
take anyone with him. Formal flies in.
I love this teamwork. It's drop everything and support the most important player.
Oh!
Back-to-back scenarios, and now they're up 6-1 here.
And Lqgend's getting fired up. You heard the dead. Doesn't matter what language it was in, you could tell exactly what he was saying. No stick here as well, and Lqgend is starting to look good. Lqgend, maybe it's his time to step up here in this Game 5. 4-0 to start this game.
And just like that, you know these guys are fired up. They're up 9-1 in a potential reverse sweep scenario. Let's get into a listen-in with Optic Gaming.
No, run to the run.
Upside.
This poker, nice!
Nice.
Yellow behind me, yellow behind me.
I'm pushing this game. I'm going tram.
Give us a loop. John, you're by yourself.
Be here.
Here, grab here, one shot Cykul.
Nice.
Watch out, nice. I think he's driving.
Nice 3, last guy.
Here, bound. Don't die.
Spawning snipe.
Back up, John.
I'm kind of sick.
They've got to be sniped.
Upside by himself, bro, too.
Hey, I'm sick, man.
They could be blue. They could be in blue.
Let's weak this. Scamming.
One shot next one.
Everything. I'm shot.
Oh my god!
Watch it to that.
3 dead.
That's weak.
Last guy.
Ape this kid.
They're going to spawn loop. They're going to spawn loop.
Yo, I'm fucking sending you shot. I'm taking shot.
Camo's coming, guys.
Yo, LR tunnel drawn. In one cloud door.
We're here.
Nice.
Camo, guys. Camo 2.
Flowers weak as fuck. He's in yard weak.
Yeah, pushing in.
I think he went yard beer.
Camo's up. Nice. Camo, guys. Camo.
Ape met.
One shot coming up front.
He's back in yard.
Nice.
No,
Camo's
fires.
Yard.
All good. Just try and live here.
Do not go for it.
First.
Watch out. I'm Kim. Driving.
Watch out, dip.
Watch over John.
Watch it.
Watch it.
On the way.
I can.
Let's go, one shot, last shot.
Where you are you? It's the man.
Mark it one.
What's going bitches?
Nice.
man.
I'm watching you this.
Watch me.
Next week, watch it. Scamming!
Nice. 2 dead, guys. 2 dead.
I'm pushing this.
Segue.
Nice!
Resi 1. We're
Well, if you're wondering who's going to lead the charge, lead the energy, Lqgend in the kill feed, and in our ears is screaming every time that he does damage and gets kills. This is inspiring stuff from him.
I mean, unbelievable from them. Look at this, 29-12 in this game, completely out of hand. So glad we got to hear that listening as well, because you knew that when they opened up this game 9-1, they were going to be fired up. Unbelievable. Bound right now is 9-2. Formal 8-2 as well, with Lqgend being 10-4 in the game.
This is unbelievable. Lqgend finds a double kill himself as well, and Shopify cannot get on the map. But one thing we have to keep in mind about Solitude, if Optic can do this to Shopify, Shopify know if they can get 4 on the map that they can do it back to Optic. You have to stay mentally in this game.
That's right, not over just yet. A lot
3
of
dead.
Halo to play.
3
3
dead.
will fall. Formal's the last player alive, and even though they're
4 dead.
down by about 13, we'll see if they can bring this back. 8:25 left on the clock, though, and not only everything to play for in terms of the score, but let's not forget what we heard from countless players today. there's so much to prove this season. A lot of Halo left in this game 5.
Legend, another double kill for him. 12 and 5 in a game 5 reverse sweep opportunity. Doesn't get the trade this time around, but does enough damage to get the numbers back. A little bit more manageable here for Optic. Camo has just popped. Bound is flying down bottom mid to try and clean up some of this damage.
And now at the 36 kill mark, you start to get into territory where you cannot afford to trade. Moments ago, we were saying it was possible. All of a sudden, it's looking quite unlikely as they have not gotten the trades that they at least needed. 38 to 21. And just like that, when the game was about to be within 10, it's actually double the score because Optic Gaming answers back right away. 39 to 21. Camo in hand. This is their push.
Yeah, we're moving from doubtful to improbable and soon to be impossible to come back from this kind of scoreline. It's 41 to 23 as a couple of kills get picked up by Shopify Rebellion, but Formal looking to hold down the loop at the moment, looking for some kills himself. Damage onto Cykul and Frosty. Both players essentially down to no shields.
Formal is 10, 10, and 4. He has 5 times the assist of anyone on the other side. Unbelievable game from him thus far. Double positive as well. Only 8 kills to go for Optic Gaming.
8 to go. It might be too little too late as Renegade finds another one. Optic Gaming on the precipice of a reverse sweep, and we were worried after game 1. Take yourself back.
Look at this.
Where Shopify were just battering Optic Gaming on Fortress Bomb, but now the counter punches have landed and the knockout blow might be close.
And what do we say? If you let Optic Gaming get out to an early lead, they will not look back. They don't have to play catch up. They don't have to spend the entire game fighting man disadvantages. Instead, it's just 5 to go for them on the reverse sweep.
12 and 5 for Formal, but the 11 assists alongside it. That's 23 engagements out of the 46 that have involved this man on your screen. And he's only fallen into the respawn 5 times. That is phenomenal.
Unbelievable here. Final kills to go as they only need 4 more to close it out. Renegade on the push on the yard BR. Does not have the help, but doesn't need it. 47 on the board. It's 3 to go.
Frosty dancing around the pole, gets the kill onto Bound. It's a double kill, but you get the feeling it might not be enough. Camo comes up, shot comes up as well. There's conditions that if they go heavily in the favor of Shopify, it might give them a chance, but Legend shuts down that last bit of hope. It's 2 to go for Optic.
Yeah, there's no way here. 36 on the board. 49, only 1 more kill to go for Optic on the reverse sweep. Here it is.
Cykul has no idea where Legend is. Legend knows where Cykul is, and look at the response from Legend. Optic Gaming will reverse sweep Shopify Rebellion. And the 2 sides of that stage, the 2 rooms could not look different.
Yeah, talk about polar opposites there. Legend's the first to pop off, and these guys are going to go exchange handshakes. But my word, what a reverse sweep from Optic Gaming. Let's not forget, this is just the first time we're seeing them on LAN, and you have a result like this. Optic Gaming is 50-37 in game number 5. They complete the reverse sweep over Shopify Rebellion.
What a performance from Optic. After a couple of games, you thought that maybe it's going to be Optic falling down to play against SSG, but instead they find that grit, that determination, and that's something we just learned about this roster, right? The grit and determination is there. They can find themselves in a hole and find a way to dig themselves out, and I've got to say, I think the vocal leadership from Legend, getting hyped up, getting fired up in that game 5, got everyone else going as well.
Yeah, I'm really curious, even off the rip, I'm very curious about the opening strategy from Shopify. Royal 2 stays blue, Cykul wraps yard solo, and it starts this domino effect that they really could not come back from. Take a look here at the board though, you see some damage numbers coming in. It's Bound in the end. 4,200, the only one to pass the 4K mark.
Yeah, just a dominant Slayer performance in that game 5 coming in from Optic Gaming. And I would say Legend, you know, it sounded like he was a war when he was in game. As soon as it finished, just stood up. It's back to being nice guy Legend. Like,
yeah, just smile on his face.
Change. It's like, oh, everyone's cool. Like, everything's good. But this player cam, this listening, great call from you to go to the listening, because Optic really did just see that they were not in any mood whatsoever to lose this game.
I'll tell you what, I got lucky before the game, just communicating with the team in the back, thinking, you know, let's get into a listening. If a team takes the lead, let's hear how they sound. And we got the greatest gift that you could ask for in a game 5 reverse sweep scenario, where Optic Gaming was the most hyped that we have, of course, heard the roster yet today, but the most hype I've seen and heard a team in a very long time, and I'm including past seasons in that as well. At that point in the game, Legend was 11 and 5.
Legend just continually pushing as well. I think that's the thing I enjoyed most about that. He was the forefront of just keeping Shopify split on their spawn so many times. if there was an opportunity to move forward and capitalize, Optic took it in that game. And that's the kind of game sometimes that can just like, something clicks with the teams like, oh, this is how we have to play. This is how we want to play. Like things start to roll, things start to go together. And it was a dominant Game 5 performance. And I think, like I mentioned, so much to talk about, the resilience that came in from Optic in those final moments. It's what you want to see from a team who's put together to win championships.
It is, man. I mean, coming together in the way that they also did, and you talked about each game by game, you couldn't ask for, take a look at this scoreboard, you cannot ask for a better LAN debut between these two teams. Everything was quite close until, let's be honest, that Slayer Solitude, which was one of the most dominant Slayers we've seen in a very long time, not just this season or online, but I mean in the last few years. I'm Infinite. Formal, great to have you with us, man. Congrats on the series.
Yeah,
welcome.
Thanks.